So, I played my first eroge recently, and there are a lot of reasons why I wanted to play this game. The first one being that it's free, but the other reason is that it's about a bunch of handicapped people falling in love. And of course, to someone like me, if you know me, of course it would catch my eye. By the way, the eroge I'm talking about, if you haven't already guessed, is Katawa Shoujo, and it is one that I highly recommend. But besides that, the reason why Katawa Shoujo caught my interest was because of my childhood, and how, even to this day, even though it's been almost 5 years since it all happened, still haunts me. There is a lot of trauma and other things someone like me had to go through because of my, I guess, disability, and it sucks. It really does, knowing that you're different from everyone else, but not knowing why or how to fix it. It really sucks, and getting bullied for it sucks even more. And Katawa Shoujo talks about all of those topics, so of course I love this game, and I love this game's characters. I'm fine now, but thankfully the surgeries that I had worked, but every time I look at my scars, I remember all that happened, and it's still scary, and it's something that I'm insecure about. I don't sleep without clothes on, and I am fully clothed as often as I can be because I don't like to show people my scars, and I don't look at them myself. In my time playing Katawa Shoujo, it has really let me reflect on myself while playing the game and talking to the characters, and it has really helped me one route in particular, which I will get into later. But this game, if you are like me or anybody else in this game, will seriously help you to reflect on what happened in the past and will help you to move forward with what you are dealing with now. And I can't pretend that I can relate to all the characters in the game because that is just not true. I don't know what it's like to be blind or deaf or not have legs or arms, but I can relate to how this type of thing can affect your everyday life. After I got my surgeries and was all healed up, the fact that I was broken in the first place haunted me, and it made me hate myself and question why I was even here. But over time, that part of me started to fade, but there's still and probably always will be a part of me that just can't really handle dealing with things like this. And there's a reason why most of my favorite characters are characters that, despite it all, whether they be sick or injured, they always stand up and are strong-willed and amazing characters. Why do you think I love Nagisa Furukawa from Clannad so much? It's because, to me, she's an amazingly strong character despite her sickly demeanor, and Katawa Shoujo has no lack of characters like that. But the characters that caught me off guard the most, and the one that I fell in love with the most in the game, was the exact opposite of that. She was broken, she knew she was broken, and she was lonely and shy and had trouble opening up to people. But by the end of her route, she had tugged my heartstrings so much that I absolutely fell in love with her character, with her courage towards the end of her route, and how absolutely amazing and kind of a person she was. Katawa Shoujo changed me in a way I didn't think anything could. Where a series like Clannad taught me the bond of a family, Katawa Shoujo taught me that it is okay to live with my scars, and that I don't have to be scared to open up to people, and that people will be kind to me regardless of my scars or potential disabilities. This was a tough section for me to write, as I had to talk about a lot of things that I don't usually talk to people about. But as I played through this game, I felt myself feeling like I can open up about this kind of stuff and that it will be okay. This game is amazing, and it is a game that if you haven't played, then I definitely recommend that you do so because it is absolutely amazing. And I say, if you have any experience similar to mine in any way, then you should definitely play this game, as it'll do to you what it did to me. I promise you that. Now, before I get into the actual review of the game, I just want to say real quick that I am not disabled in any way. I am a perfectly healthy person, but when I was a kid, I was always sick and eventually needed surgery to fix my problems, which thankfully helped after a scare that nearly killed me, but I'm okay now, so there's that. So when playing Katawa Shoujo, you can pick a route between 5 girls: Shizune, Lily, Hanako, Emi, and Rin. Each of these girls have their own unique personalities, their own struggles, and their own way of interacting with the world. And honestly, that is what makes this game so awesome in the first place. None of the characters feel stale. They're all interesting and unique people with their own disabilities and their own way of dealing with it in a unique way. Hanako's route, and Hanako in general, touched me the most out of all the other routes and girls for a lot of reasons, from the interactions with the protagonist or to the fact that Hanako literally represents me in almost every way, except taking up about 20 notches. She is shy and insecure about herself to the point that she can't open up to anybody, but she's also alone and doesn't want to be all the time, and that to me hits home because that is literally me. She also loves to read, and I do as well. I don't read as many novels, I mostly read manga, but I do read the occasional novel, and the fact that Hanako is a shy, timid girl who is insecure about herself, who also loves to read, just makes her perfect. But enough about Hanako as a person. I want to talk about her route and how that affected me. Her route was the toughest for me to get through, as a lot of the stuff the protagonist himself was saying is something that I have experienced in my own life at one point. Like the one time he mentions that more than anything, this scar is a physical reminder of my condition, a reminder that I'm not a normal anymore. This is one line that speaks to me on such a personal level, as my scars feel like a personal reminder to me, as well as how I'll never be able to live a normal life. Even if now I am a lot better, there are still a lot of things that I have to deal with in my condition. Could definitely get worse at any time, and it has in the past. That is why I resonate so much with this route and with Hanako so much, because it reflected myself so much and it made me want to improve myself just like Hanako did, and I love it. Emi's route was one that affected me entirely different way than Hanako's route. A lot of people don't know this about me, but I used to be really active. I loved sports, baseball especially, and I used to play them all the time. To this day, I still love baseball. I just don't play it now, and Emi and her route solidifies to me that I could have been if I decided to continue to be active. There are a lot of things that put me off. In particular, I got sick all the time, so my stamina got worse and I couldn't keep up and started making excuses and eventually just stopped altogether. But Emi never did that. Despite the fact that she lost both her legs, she continues to run, and for no particular reason besides the fact that she loves it. One of the things I love that she said in her route is that she's the fastest thing on no legs. To me, that is awesome because despite all the challenges, she never gave up on herself or her running, and to me that hits home because I did give up on my love for baseball. I just stopped playing, and to this day, I'm not active in the slightest. My life consists of me going to work, watching anime or reading manga, and making a new video for the week, and that is all I do. If I didn't give up on baseball, maybe I would be doing something else, but right now, honestly, it made me think and reflect on myself, something I didn't think I needed to do. Shizune's route is one that affected me for something that I am currently doing, and not something from my past. In her route, the main character takes up learning sign language, and mentions how tough it is to learn another language. And although I'm not learning sign language, I have found that fact to be increasingly true. I have taken to studying Japanese, and over the past year of me doing so, I have made a lot of progress, but it has also been extremely difficult for me to do because there are so many different rules and intricate things in languages that you never really think about when you speak your native language that you have to learn when learning a language, and it has made the process very slow. Like with Japanese verbs, there is this thing called te form. Now, on paper, it sounds simple, but when you realize that the verbs are separated into different categories, and depending on the category, the te form ending could be different, and it honestly just makes my head spin every time I learn a new verb because I just have to go back to my list and figure out what ending goes for what category, and it is very increasingly more frustrating. But what I have also learned over the past year of studying Japanese is that when you make noticeable progress in learning, it feels amazing because what used to sound like gibberish now can be very easily pieced together, and that to me is awesome. Side characters in Katawa Shoujo are awesome for a lot of reasons. I want to specifically mention Kenji, as he is almost a main character, as he is the only character besides the protagonist himself that appears in every route past Act 1. And he is also hilarious. His ranting about feminist conspiracies is amazing, and his character is perfect for lighting up the mood when something serious just happened, and that is one of the big reasons why his character is awesome. Also, because he is increasingly more funny as I continue to play this game. His blatant lack of regard for anybody but himself and his hate of feminism is so damn funny that every time he appears on screen before the text box even pops up, I am already excited to see what other dumb shit he is about to say, and I love it. Katawa Shoujo is a game that when I went into it, I knew it would be good, but I didn't realize just how good this game was actually going to be. It is amazing. The characters in this game feel like they could be real people, and the stories themselves are also amazing. Overall, my experience with this game became a lot more personal than I initially thought that it would be, but that just made me love this game even more, and I would definitely recommend that you play this game if you haven't, and if you for some reason don't like it, no harm done, because like I mentioned earlier in this video, the game is free, so you can delete it and completely forget about it. But seriously, I would definitely recommend this game to anyone, but especially those with any level of disability, because it will hit home for you in some way, I'm sure.